Happy Friday! Hey, Lady Prairie. I don't know where everyone else is, but hello! Happy Friday! I'm glad to see Noem out, but it would have been fun to see her impeached and convicted. Yeah, kinda. Can't argue that. Can't argue that. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hey, Garpu. This is so weird. Good morning, Jeremiah. How is everybody doing today? What do people got going on this weekend? What is this weekend looking like? Obviously, the big news. Kristi Noem out. MMA fighter in. Because I don't know if there's any other word that can describe what's going on. So she is really gone. That Shields of America thing actually doesn't exist yet. It's something that Trump wants to create. It doesn't actually exist. So him saying that she's moving on to that is pretty much saying she's gone. Well, they're announcing it doesn't mean that there's any funds for it. Oh, yeah. Markwayne Mullin has got some serious issues. Hey, Lori. Is that kind of like an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing? Maybe. Let me change this to low again. For some reason, it went back to medium. Was it better when I switched it to low? Like, was it a noticeably less number of ads? Morning, Rosa. Several tornadoes. So what a time to not have a functioning government. Yeah. 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 Fear the man will be much worse. I wish she would have been fired completely instead of reassigned. Again, I said this right before you got on, Rosa. Technically, that Fields of America thing doesn't exist. Like, he can create it, but there are no, like, it involves working with other countries. None of this exists right now. Hey, Kia. But yes, I think Markwayne Mullin will be worse. Because not only is Markwayne Mullin equally as incompetent, but he's also a hothead who's probably got some level of brain damage from being punched in the head too many times. still gave her another title instead of ousting completely. Correct. To oust her would admit he was wrong, and he won't admit he's wrong. No, he's gotten worse about that. Like, he used to oust them and then say, oh, I didn't make a mistake. They lied to me or something like that. Where now he is so obsessed. I mean, according to reports, the reason that she is out is because she made a commercial that focused on her more than him. Or that seemed to focus more on her than on him. Just watched the latest interview. Thanks, Linda. He seems like a Christian nationalist too. Well, probably. I mean, he's from Oklahoma. Not that that guarantees anything, but it's like when a cop gets charged for something and turns out he's had a trail of misconduct in multiple other precincts, and instead of accountability, he got transferred and promoted. Yep. Didn't they steal music for that commercial as well? Again, wouldn't surprise me. And she only spent $220 million on that. They said he is the first with not even a bachelor's degree. Yeah. The way I understood it, she was before the committee and Trump signed off on it. And he says he didn't. Yep. Oh, yeah. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Terry. Yeah, I actually saw a post that put Mark-Wayne Mullin up next to AOC, and like the comparisons to the two, and they're like, yeah, he's a great pick for the Secretary of Homeland Security, and she's bad because she was a bartender. Oh, of course he had no idea what the commercials cost. I might have finally figured out why the Senate is so broken. 51% of the Senate are lawyers. Hey, Laura. Yep. Unfortunately, lawyers being in charge of our government is not new. Most of the original founding fathers had law degrees and were lawyers. A vast majority, in fact. I mean, arguably, it makes sense in a annoying sort of way. Being a lawyer means you understand how to write. You learn about laws, which means you hopefully understand how to write them, which technically could make you good at being a politician who has to make laws. Not sure I totally agree with it, but arguably it makes sense. I can see the argument. I just don't agree with the argument. I think there are other ways you can do it that don't involve the actual politician having to be the lawyer. And here's the other reason why I think it actually doesn't work anymore. Most of them don't write the legislation anymore or read the legislation. Exactly. I was just, that's exactly what I was saying. Maybe back in the day when they did that more, you could make that argument. I don't think you can anymore. Oh, and have you guys seen oil prices today? Oh boy. 87.5. I'm looking at it right now. It's 88. What's it called? Brent maybe at 89, but right now it's at 88.1. It's flying up. It is flying up. Oh, I'm sure it did with oil prices going up the way they have. Yeah, 47. Dow's at 47. Hey, Summer. Idaho's trying to pass a bill to not allow protections for LGBTQIA in our state constitution. Of course they are. Last week, our gas was $2.79. Yesterday, it was $3.29. Yeah. Yeah. You have no internets at the moment, watching on cellular here, but for how long, who knows? Well, I'm glad you're here, and I'm sorry you don't have internet. Someone cutting your cables? I hate when that happens. Oh yeah. All the places that in the Northeast that use oil still, that would be no fun. I don't look at gas price. I just put $20 in and hope for the best. Or natural gas, thankfully. Well, I mean, natural gas is still going to go up because getting oil and natural gas, you get it in the same place. So, hey, Paige. I swear last week gas was $2.99. Now it's $3.69. Yep. Well, that's what happens. Hey, Alex. What happens when gas prices keep skyrocketing? Hey, Ash. It's wild. Wild. How much more can we pay for just about everything? Had enough of all this winning? Me too. Me too. I've had enough winning. Enough winning. No more winning. We export most of ours. Guess we're going to have to keep more of it, but that won't happen. No, that won't happen. Because the companies here will go, oh, all of these places that we're getting oil and natural gas from through the strait are going to need it from somewhere else. So let's send out more because they can charge more. Like, that's the part people don't get. This is the problem with having everything being privatized. They want to send out more. and leave less here, because that means they can charge more to other people and here. And hi, Mo. Happy it's Friday. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Yes, they truly think it is short-term pain for long-term gain. Yep. Why they think that? Don't know. Don't know. They sell the good stuff for more and we import the crap stuff for less, basically. Just all around bad. Just all around bad. I don't even want to think how much like plane flights are going to go up because of this. Had to take my mom's cat for spaying this morning. Shocked at the price. Yup. April 1st, the no junk food using SNAP goes into effect in Texas. I'm over this damn state and looking at homes in Vermont. Well, that would definitely be a different feel. That's how we make money. I didn't have an Idaho potato until I moved to North Carolina because we typically export ours out to other states and import ones from Washington. The DU has a national gas edge at 302 and diesel at 390. Gets updated on Tuesday, so we'll see where it goes. Yeah. It's going to be 2003 on steroids. Mm-hmm. MMA fighter Pretendian. Oh, we broke 89. Think we'll break 90? How fast do you think it'll take us to get to 90? It's already going up pretty dang fast. It's gone up 10% today. Already. I saw a sign saying Idaho has changes coming to Snap soon. I'm guessing that's probably what it is. Yep. Yeah. Snap changes are coming everywhere. I just see it flying up right now. It is literally just constantly going up. And it never comes down again. Nope, not really. Yes, sir. 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. Eastern is when I go live on TikTok. Home heating oil went from $5 a gallon in 2003-4. A few weeks ago, it was $3.49, up from $2.99 the beginning of January. Yeah. So we're going to have an MMA fighter on top of the WWE wild card we already have for education. This administration is hell-bent on vanity fighters. Yep. Well, you know what they're doing for the 250th anniversary, right? Building a fucking MMA whatever on the front of the White House. A lot of my neighbors use oil for heat and minimum delivery is 100 gallons. Yep. RFK Jr. has no idea how families struggle to feed their families to the best of their ability. He has never had to worry about money. Nope. I said it before you said that. I'm sorry. He's building like they're building like an MMA fighting dome thing in the front of the White House to quote unquote celebrate the 250th anniversary. I don't know how they think that's celebrating, but had good news last night from Minnesota Senate, a bill I've been following in Minnesota passed its Senate Commerce Committee hearing. Hell yeah. Well, I guess I had my one video that did well this month. So it's time for my videos to do nothing. None of the people in this administration have ever had to worry about money. No. Beating the shit out of each other definitely speaks to 250 years in this country. You know, I wish I could fully argue that, Ghost. The way Mullin was notified about his position should concern everyone. It's like Trump just drew a name out of a hat. Yep. So also remember, if you haven't gone and watched the video of Evan? Evan? Yeah, Evan. Who's running in Mississippi. Please go watch it and share it. Did you guys hear that what's his face? Ken Paxton said that he would drop out if they passed the SAVE Act in Congress. Yosemite. Yep. Yosemite. Of course they are, because the 5 Republicans know they are going to lose their seat. Oh, I think she is all but gone. Because I don't think anything's going to come of whatever this thing is that Trump's trying to build. But I could be wrong. Hope I'm not wrong, but I could be wrong. Yeah, she technically was given another position with this Shield of Americas or whatever bullshit he's trying to call this thing. I mean, the only way it will pass is if, and I just don't see that happening. I mean, there are plenty of people there that aren't exactly like Mullin. I've interviewed a couple. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep. Will Gnome make commercials for her new job? Probably not. You know, Bob, that's an interesting question. A dangerous question. Well, Kennedy is Kennedy. So that man is king of the pearl clutching. It is a stupid dad joke. Probably unwise to have done it, but I get mad every time I hear Kennedy speak. Me too. All right, Bob. Mago will throw all the women who are part of this under the bus. Why do they think they're going to be the good ones? I got you, Rosa. I got you. No. Did she actually? I mean, she bought a new plane as the DHS. She bought the DHS bought new planes. I don't think she's getting access to them. Especially since her boy toy is also leaving DHS now that she's leaving. If you can understand him. It's fair. A super fancy one that she claimed would be redone for detainees. Oh yeah, sure. Uh-huh. Yeah. Trump didn't dump Corey. Corey left because her his sugar mama is leaving. Find it kind of suspicious though. Why yesterday? I kind of feel like it has to do with the ad thing. I mean, why yesterday? It has to do. It has to do with the questioning and the responses from her Senate committee from her Senate hearing. My guess is it's a buildup of the entire committee hearing. That part was just the icing on the cake. He was being made to look bad because of the way she was responding or not really responding. Hey, Alejandra, how are you? Happy Friday. We need to talk about the Marine having his hand broken. Supposedly, Lewandowski is leaving DHS as well, William. Well, again, Lisa, that requires you to trust anything that comes out of this administration's mouth. And I don't trust anything that comes out of this administration's mouth. But yes, Ambrosia, that whole thing where the Marine got his hand broken, I saw the video, it was gross. Oh, I'm sure Markwayne Mullin will create like an MMO rink or something in the plane. We know Markwayne Mullin loves fist fighting. Oh, I'm sure he doesn't remember 90% of what he approves. Totally doesn't remember. I'm sure he doesn't remember what he did last, an hour ago. Hey, Indigo. How are you? Yep. Yeah, Philip, we talked about that. But also, I'm just happy she's gone. Oh, yeah. This is one of those two things are true at the same time situation. Glad she's gone. Markwayne Mullin is not better. Quite possibly, Norma Tico. How's North Carolina? It's going to be warm today. It's going to be like 80. Sunny right now. I'm glad it's the weekend. How are you doing, Steve? Hey, Courtney. Hey, Meme. Oh, yeah. He's been on TV trying to like, yeah. $80 in March. That's actually not insanely abnormal for around here. It's a little abnormal, but it's not. Since I've lived here, March is pretty much spring. So it'll be in the 80s and 70s, and then it'll go down into the 60s. Like, this is spring here. Thank you, Ziggy. Morning, Laura. But I've seen an interview with the new guy, and he said his family and Noem are family. Oh yeah, I mean he is equally as bad, if not in many ways worse. Like I said, Markwayne Mullin is most known for ethics violations while he was a member of the House of Representatives and trying to pick a fight during a Senate committee hearing with the Teamsters boss. Those are the two things this guy is most known for. Oh, you're fine, Laura. You're good. Hey, Patty. Yes, more testosterone. Who's replacing Noem? The junior senator from Oklahoma, Mark Wayne Mullin. Yes, that was him. Hey, Vonda. Hey, Angela. Good morning. No. The way senators get replaced is the governor picks the replacement. Special elections only happen for members of the House of Representatives. Is she going to pay back? No. No, she's not. There's someone running against Booker, and I really hope he wins. Oh, yeah? Hey, Silver. Politicians pay back money. Isn't he giving her a different job? He is giving her a different job, but it's for a thing that technically doesn't exist. And even if he creates the thing in the United States, there's no guarantee that anyone else will be a part of it. So it's pretty much a nothing burger at this point. Could you imagine people in government had to pay back the American people? No. Oh, by the way, Mark Wayne Mullin is also super corrupt in the sense of right before a lot of multiple defense contracts went out, he bought stock in those companies. Hey, Stu. No, it wasn't. Not even close. In terms of helping the American people, Omar is gone. Why would Omar be gone? Now you can't read? Oh, I can read just fine. Have you talked about the job loss numbers? Not yet. Not yet. It's about 10 minutes in. Tufu, that's about normal. That's when they show up. The real question is can we... Yeah. They'll disappear. The problem is... Yeah. I think anytime a man is endorsed by another man, he should come with reviews by women from his life. There you go. There you go. Some roided out redneck in charge. Yep. AOC. What's going on? Kristi Noem is out. What will I do for money in 3 years? You won't be able to make a living gaslighting. Grow up. Are you 5 years old? Jeez. People have no life. You're not familiar with Mullin? He is pretty much only known for one thing. Well, a couple things. So he's a former MMA fighter. He was under ethics investigation while in the House of Representatives, and is most well known for trying to start a fist fight with the Teamsters boss during a Senate committee hearing. That is what he is most well known for. And don't forget, Trump liking Mullin proves he isn't racist because Mullin is part Cherokee. Right. Right. That was him. Yep. Union boss. He's a union boss. He was really an MMA fighter. Yes. Yep. He was really an MMA fighter. Yep. He also tried to rip Green's sign out of his hand at the last State of the Union. Also true. Any tips on employment? I wish I had some good tips. Unfortunately, we're in a massive employer's market. We're in a massive employer's market. There are more people looking for work than there are even jobs available. Morning, Jeffries. Choosing to try and fight a Teamster is insanely dumb. Yup. Do they actually claim him? I don't know. I don't know, Rosa. I just know what he says his heritage is. Have you interviewed anyone running against Cory Booker in New Jersey? I have not. I actually haven't interviewed anyone running in New Jersey yet, which is weird. I'm sure we've reached out to people, but I have not been contacted. We have not heard back from anyone running in New Jersey. Nope. The worst administration is currently in office. But good try. Especially for junior devs, they want you to be a senior engineer out of college. Yep. Yes, unfortunately, when there are so many people looking for work, they end up having a better shot at getting people with a lot of experience that will come to work for a lower. I did. She was running to fill the seat, not for the midterms. So while yes, I did interview her, I didn't consider that the part of it because that technically was not for a midterm. Trump made fun of Warren for claiming her Native American background, so I don't see how his supporters can praise Mullin for his. How? I can tell you how. They're hypocrites. That's how. It's that easy. They're complete and utter hypocrites that lack basic humanity and empathy for human beings. That is how. There are about 5 running against Booker. Wanted to get an opinion if you had. I have not yet, OC. I'm sure there's a chance that I will interview 1 or 2 at some point. But at the moment, I have not interviewed anyone running against Booker. I'm glad there are people running against him, though. He makes fun of her claim of Native ancestry because she doesn't have it. Prove it. I trust her more than I trust you or the president. President lied 33,000 times during his first administration. We start early voting today in VA for our redistricting. That's true. Yep. Thank you. It's Good Mythical Morning. You know the episode. Or the YouTube channel. Not Joe Rogan. I'm not Joe Rogan. So I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I got you. No, not Joe Rogan. No, I don't think they said anything wrong. They weren't talking about me. They were talking about, they're saying Joe Rogan became they were thinking Joe Rogan may have become the new person in charge of DHS. No, different MMA fighter. This MMA fighter is Mark Wayne Mullin, the current junior senator from the state of Oklahoma. Although I don't know if he is anymore. If he's been given the job temporarily, he's no longer. He's probably no longer considered a senator. Hey, Tiffany. Mullin is not only, yes, very true, Carol. So, Mike, in all honesty, who would you pick for Homeland Security? Who would I pick? Honestly, I don't know. I haven't put any thought into it. Someone with actual experience in running those kind of things. I mean, you're literally running when you're the Secretary of Homeland Security, you're overseeing multiple massive organizations. He was picked because he brown noses the current guy in charge. I guess my question, I just don't understand why people, like, I've seen other people say those, like, you say these things and they're like, who would you put in? Like, why do people care who I would put in? I guess I don't understand. And I'm nothing against you, Steve. You've been a part of this community for a while, and I know you're just asking. I just don't understand why people care. I'm not the president. If I were the president and I had the right to pick, I would look for someone who has leadership qualities, that has empathy and humanity, that has the mindset and acuity to be able to run a massive organization like the Department of Homeland Security. He needs to be confirmed if he wants to be in there permanently. He can be in there temporarily without confirmation. It is a tough job for anyone. I mean, being in government is a tough job, but there are plenty of people that have those capabilities. Are they going to be perfect at it? No. But there are plenty of people out there that have experience in doing those kind of things. Way more than someone whose only experience before being in Congress is being an MMA fighter. Like, if someone tried to offer it to me, I'd be like, no, sorry, you need to find someone else. Like, I wouldn't even accept it if it was offered to me because I don't have the experience or the qualifications in any way, shape, and form for it. Do I have some of them? Maybe, but not the right ones. The problem right now is the qualifications he looks for is absolute loyalty. Hey, Hannah. He offers positions to people that will do whatever that he thinks will do whatever he tells them to do, and will be unwaveringly loyal. I don't know how Stephen Miller could have any more influence than he already has. Hey, man from the West. Seriously, Ikea. Oh, we're hitting the post-troll slump. I see. I'm convinced people meant something else and demonized the word. Then he fills his junk drawer with people fitting the description. True. True. Community people can come up if you want. All I know is I'm scared and sad these days. I 100% hear you. He only hires people to wear a bib to catch the orange ooze. Hope Scott's okay. I haven't, other than coming in chat yesterday, I haven't seen him this week.
Wait a second, I forgot I had to switch the volumes. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, they got to be willing to wear the bib. They don't wear the bib, then you can't get hired. If you're qualified, you can't get hired. That's why it just amazes me, this whole bullshit about DEI, when it's like they're literally doing all the DEI.
No. I mean, again, for a job like that, is there anyone that is straight up fully qualified right off the bat? No. No one just has the full qualifications / experience. Maybe not qualifications is the right word. Experience to be able to run as much as the Secretary of Homeland Security runs. Scott's been working. It's getting in the way of his social life. Seriously. But there is a difference between having some of the qualifications, or at least a decent amount and a good amount of experience that can work in doing this as well, and the people that he is currently putting in those positions who don't have any of the experience or qualifications. Because being a senator does not qualify you to run the Department of Homeland Security, no matter what people think.
And I think that's part of the issue. Like, people don't really realize, like, it's just become almost like a joke. Like, it's almost like, let me just put my friends in the places where I want them to be, or I've got to, pay back a special something or whatever. I'm trying to be careful with how I'm speaking. But it's just so fucking frustrating. So frustrating on so many levels.
100%.
Good morning. Yeah, it's incredibly frustrating to watch just people be rewarded with jobs who clearly have no ability to do the job, especially when those jobs are so important to the lives of millions of people. Billions if you count the rest of the planet.
Yeah. I would argue that Caroline did not, other than schooling, She did not have any of the things necessary to be in that high of a position. Should have hired a bartender. Oh, AOC, way more experience and qualifications to be the Secretary of Homeland Security than Markwayne Mullin. Yep.
A potato is more qualified. Who are we kidding?
You did if you said bartender. That's the one thing they always talk about. That's the thing that everyone I know seems to think is an issue with her. The only thing they ever seem to mention is that she was a bartender.
Clutching my pearl, she had a real job that like actual normal people do. Whatever shall we do? I think that's part of the problem. If we actually elected people who've lived like a normal freaking a normal life, who's actually goes to the grocery store themselves and buys their own groceries and does all of the things, like lives a real life, it's just it's so frustrating why people keep seeming to think that these people who do not do these things. Do you think when you're worth billions, millions, and billions of dollars that you give a fuck how much you pay for the price of hamburger or your coffee or anything at the grocery store? No. Why? Doesn't make any difference to them. But they're going to be the ones that are going to make all the difference for us. It's hard to put my mindset like that. I just don't get that.
Well, and let's be honest, anybody who has grown up with a silver spoon, how could they possibly govern a nation in a way where it puts the vast majority of the working class at the forefront of thought for making decisions and basing it around it? They don't even understand any of the struggles that the working class would relate to. Clearly, the tangerine dude, silver spoon baby, he's never even gone grocery shopping. He thinks groceries is just a fun word to say. Like, genuinely, I don't understand why people keep voting in ultra wealthy people. I'm like, they can't relate to you, just like you can't relate to them. So when they're making decisions for themselves and their peers, not for you. So you want people in there who are relatable to you, so they make decisions based on their peers.
It's because they attempt to. It's like, I think because they think I can be a billionaire one day.
Yes.
And if I go along with these things to make it easier and better for them, then this makes this more attainable and achievable for me. I truly think that's the delusion they live under.
Yes.
A meritocracy is a thing, but not meritocracy to everybody can be a billionaire. That's like,
before the 2024, before that happened, I saw it was a video of, they took 10 Republicans and 10 Democrats and they were talking about it, and there was a young woman on the Republican side, and she straight up said, I'm voting for the person who won because he is going to lower taxes, and my expectation for the future is I'm going to own businesses and be a multimillionaire, and I don't want to have my money taken away from me. She didn't have it now, kind of like Mamdani promised. Mamdani has kept all of his promises so far.
Chosen one, how long are you going to be with us today?
Literally, Mamdani has kept all of his promises so far.
So she voted for this person for this life she thinks she might attain at some point in the future.
Correct.
Where she's going to be a multimillionaire.
Correct.
Wow. So we're living in a time where most people are not living in reality with us. They're living in some like pretend futuristic life.
They have been told They have been told by the wealthy that if you do these things, you can attain the same life that they have, regardless of whether it's true or not.
Yeah, cult leaders do the same thing. So, doesn't make it truth, fact, or even relevant. Like, you have to vote based on your circumstances today, especially if you intend to attain something in the future. Because guess what? The stuff going on today is going to affect where you end up in the future. That's a fact, not a feeling. We all, I don't think anybody on this panel would not like to be a multimillionaire at some point in the future.
Chosen one, whatever you wrote before that did not got filtered. I have no idea what you said.
Like, is anybody on this panel or any of us, would we be upset, any of us, if we were multimillionaires in the future? I don't think any one of us would. But I'm not going to base my decisions and what I'm doing today for some pretend millionaireship in the future. That would just be ridiculous.
In honestly, in 2026, I don't think I would want to be one. Every multimillionaire I've ever met and know spends more time worrying about money and having money and how much money they have, and not actually like that's not what I want. I want to make enough money to pay my bills and put a little away. That's literally all I want. Every wealthy person I have met is in one way, shape, or form completely miserable, or they spend their entire life working for more money.
And I think that's part of what the issue is now. I mean, for so long, people have, you little fucker. Oh,
That's rude of you to say to me, Kia. Jeez.
sorry. Damn it.
I know
That
we're
sounds
family, but you don't call your brother that.
Damn. Cat stole a piece of my bacon.
Oh, snap.
Somebody's in trouble, and I don't even eat bacon.
Kitty thief, kitty thief.
Oh my God, little fucker. I turn around, she's just. I forgot to put it in the microwave to keep it safe. That's my fault.
In all honesty, I can't blame her, and I don't even eat bacon.
Well, the dogs got the rest of that piece. They're happy. But I think part of the problem is though, is, you know, like what we're saying, is they don't even realize they've got us to the point, they've got us indoctrinated so hard and so bad that you have to work, and you got to work hard, and working hard and slaving for the company is the only way your life is ever going to change, because then maybe one day you can be a millionaire. And we're fucking miserable too. When you're working in a job that you don't get to spend any time with your family, but at the same point in time, it seems like all your awake time is at your job. You don't get any free time with your friends and family. It's insane.
They also don't understand that capitalism, by its very nature, because of the way we've set it up now, requires there to be poor people. Like there is only, like, the way it is set up, we cannot all be millionaires. When they and they've justified allowing things to stay the way they are by just saying the people that aren't are just being lazy. But what the people that are at the bottom aren't understanding is that in this current system that is set up, it is not possible for us to all be millionaires. It just isn't. The way things are set up, it isn't. Cannot happen.
I mean, part of it though, if you go back in the history of this country, what was one of the first things that made people wealthy in this country? Selling living, breathing human beings. It, for me, like, I struggle with the whole concept of this fact that we have just gotten further down the hole and further into the hellhole of this capitalistic thing. And it's crazy because you still have people who are barely making it, still out here simping for those people and all their multiple commas in their bank accounts. And the thing is, and that's why it's like, it frustrates me. Like when you were talking about, like, you know, how people say they're lazy. Have you ever met like a janitor or somebody that does trash or somebody that works in fast food? Those are not lazy people.
No, and that's not what I mean when I
I
say
know,
it.
but I'm saying in addition to what you're
Right.
saying, because people call you lazy if you don't make a lot of money. I'm saying people who work those kind of jobs, people who work in fast food, people who do those other kind of things, those are not lazy people. And that's why it's frustrating
Right.
that people who sit here and literally do nothing for their money have the audacity to call anybody lazy.
The problem there is that those people would say that those jobs don't deserve to get paid a lot because they are low skill jobs, which is a whole different problem and causes a whole different level of frustration. Trying to figure out what the shield of America is, it's bullshit is what it is.
Exactly.
It's a made up job.
Exactly, Mike, what you just said, because didn't those people, when the trash where was it where those trash folks went on strike and there was all those piles and piles and piles of trash? You learn real quick how important those jobs are when you don't have them. And I think you're right. You don't think about, well, grown-ups need to get a job, but when you sit there and you go on your lunch break and you go to fast food in a drive-through, who's supposed to work it during the day when the kids are at school? Hello.
So there's the easiest way to look at it is who still had to work during the global pandemic. Who was considered essential during the global pandemic? All the people that are doing supposedly low skill jobs. They needed to keep working during one of the most dangerous times that any of us have experienced as a country.
Ken, are you finished?
Yeah.
Okay. Ken, I almost disagree with you though, because there's several people who have done fast food as a career and have went on to become franchisees, owners, and being able to buy their own restaurants that they started working at. So I disagree with that because I don't think people realize, like, my son's old boss, he worked at a KFC, Taco Bell, 2-in-1. She made $90K a year running a fucking restaurant. So I want people to get that out of their head. Like there is such a, because I don't think people realize there's district managers, there's store managers, there's all kinds of different levels that go into it.
I mean, again, fast food jobs absolutely can be careers. And why do you think that they were never meant to be? Do people need to eat? Yes. Do fast food places offer an ability for people to eat? Yes. A student in high school doesn't need to make $20 an hour. Yes, they do nowadays. They 100% do. Especially if those high school students are trying to save up to get a car and go to college and all the other things.
Not only just that, you don't know what people's home life is like if those students help participate in taking care of the bills. You don't know. We can sit here and say, hey, they shouldn't have to, but hey, cell phones aren't free, cars aren't free, insurance sure it's fucking free, super expensive. You want to buy your own things. That's why, like, my son started working. He paid his own cell phone bill and stuff. Like, I didn't have enough money to just pay all his bills and just let him get a job and make whatever. And it didn't work that way. You don't know what's going on behind people's closed doors. You just never know.
But it doesn't matter what the reason in the first place was. And to be fair, fast food in the first place was considered higher end because that whole idea was getting food on the go was a huge deal. We can't go by what it was. We go by what it is. And what it is right now is a job for people because a lot of people eat fast food all throughout the day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Especially now. It's so much more people having those kind of jobs. And that's why I say, like, just the same thing I was talking about yesterday with the housing. Like, so what if somebody lives in a freaking trailer? I don't care. It doesn't matter what kind of home people live in, what kind of jobs they have. If you work, when you have a job, you should be able to support your family. And I think it's just, you literally, those fast food workers are literally supplying you, your body, your family's body with sustenance. It also provides you the ability to not have to cook when you go home, or you've had a shitty day, or you just don't feel like it.
I am perfectly fine, Ken, with people deciding they want to just work at a fast food place and not go to college. College is expensive. And in most jobs, college does nothing except put people in debt. You want to fix the way college works and makes it possible for people to actually afford it and do schooling right? Fix that first. But don't sit here and get on kids who decide to work at fast food places instead of going to college, when college has done more to cause people to have to be in debt and get us to where we are than anything at this moment. They do not know it's, see, again, that is bullshit, Ken. I'm sorry. You've been here forever. I'm glad you're talking about this, but that is a bullshit statement.
Why are we being classist to the people who are going to be the future of our society? Like, let's be real for a second, Ken.
I didn't
You're
finish
being
college.
classist.
I didn't finish college. Are you saying that I'm lazy?
Okay. So we want kids to do well, but we don't want to give them good paying jobs to save, to support themselves, but they're lazy and they can't afford anything and they're just at home mooching off their parents, but we don't want to set them up? You're being classist and icky.
That's exactly what it is.
College is no longer a viable option.
Not for most people that
No.
parents are not pulling in multiple six figures a year.
But also, and you can kick me out if this is going to be rude, but who the hell are you, Ken, to say that college is the only thing that is necessary? You don't ever need your car fixed? That's not a college. A lot of people apprentice. You don't need your hair done? That's not always a college. Like, are you kidding me? There are so many other things and you're being ignorant.
I know more people that have gone to college, gotten a 4-year degree, and are working at Starbucks or a grocery store or somewhere else because that is all that is available. That's ridiculous. You've given up on the future of millions of soon-to-be adults. No, this country has made it impossible for them to have a future. That's what we've been talking about. What, Ken, you've been here for a long time and you've heard us talk a long time about what's going on in this society. In what planet do you, from everything you've heard us talk about, are you coming here and saying that we live in a society where you actually get somewhere by having a 4-year degree and cannot survive unless you get it, and if you don't do it, you're being lazy?
I'd also rather have people who are happy in their jobs and fulfilled than have the same view that Ken is spewing.
And
right now.
Again, I didn't finish college. I don't have a college degree. Are you telling me that I am lazy?
And some people are legitimately disabled or can't always go to college. I didn't have the support I needed to support my disabilities to go to college. So part-time jobs, also because disability pay is so fucking minuscule, sometimes part-time jobs and stuff is what we need. Like, you just...
And I have a 4-year degree. Sorry, Mike. I have a 4-year degree. Did a 4-year business degree. Please do not allow me the ways to explain how, other than accounting, a 4-year business degree is basically a big waste of money for a piece of paper. Accounting being the exception, because the intention, if you're doing that, is to go on to be a CPA. You need all of that to do your CPA. Like that's just it's a profession, it's a requirement, kind of like law. But even then, I think the one positive thing that came out of that degree is I learned a high degree of respect for every other profession, trade, everything around me, because you learn how all of it is intertwined and how all of them are important. You learn it from a very business-like perspective for your business to be successful. The thing is, how many people with business degrees actually ever go on to own their own business?
Mhm.
My degree was just a glorified office administration certificate, because that's the job you get.
Now
Office admin.
I want to be clear. I'm not saying extra education is bad. I'm saying in 2026, if you're going to sit here and tell someone that the only way for them to be not considered lazy is for them to go anywhere from $30,000 to $80,000 in debt, you've lost the plot. You've lost the
Agreed.
plot.
100%.
Also, like, has anybody ever heard the phrase or the quote or whatever that, like, how you treat basically like the least of these, without getting into like biblical terms, but basically how you treat a waitress, a janitor, any of that says a lot about how you are. And I feel like looking down your nose at someone who doesn't have a college degree, it tells me how you would treat somebody who can do nothing for you, and that says everything about you as a person.
Charlie Kirk badmouthed the schools. No, Charlie Kirk called the school system woke. That is completely different. That is a billion times different than what we're sitting here talking about.
School is fine. It's just not necessary or mandatory for people to be fulfilled in their lives.
Well, and here's the thing. Had tuition for university not been so incredibly expensive, I actually would have gone into a whole completely different field. I would have gone on to be a dermatologist, which is has been my passion since I was like 8 years old, doing science presentations for fourth graders on skin cancer and the effects of sunscreen at 8 years old. That was my special interest. But the problem is, the only way to be a dermatologist is A, you have to get all the way through medical school. Then on top of it, you have to pay extra for all the extra years to specialize as a dermatologist. And I didn't have like, $300,000-$400,000 just lying around, because that's what it costs.
And I'm also saying, trying to tell a kid to go into debt that will probably last almost their entire life to most likely get a job that pays $15 an hour, or not go into debt for $40,000 to $80,000 or more for the rest of their life, and then still only get a job that probably pays $15 an hour, because there are more people looking for work than there are jobs out there. That's not a good argument.
The amount of interest that I would have to pay, or do have to pay, for my cosmetology license, and that was back when it was 2,000 hours. It was like just over a year. I have to work longer to pay the interest, because the interest accrues so much that it's more than the actual loans. It's not that school is bad. It's that if you can study something that makes you happy, you're going to contribute more, be able to contribute more to the world. It just, that's a reality of it.
Exactly.
And if you're not stuck in fight or flight the whole freaking time, you're just going to contribute more.
Which means the world becomes a better place. And the thing is that cost has made it prohibitive for any of us who the things that we enjoy do require school. And it has also made it out as if the things that don't require a post-secondary education are not valued in society. And neither of those are truths. If we built a system all the way around where anybody could go study or not study and just go fulfill the thing that they love doing, we would have a completely different society with completely different people in it.
Yep.
Like we would all be doing things we love instead of things we have to do because we need it to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
And we've
now, if you want to make education free and accessible, and you want to spend more of our time in education, helping kids not only love to learn, but find out what they enjoy and are good at and help encourage that,
Mhm.
then yeah, get people where they are best at, figure out what their skills are and help encourage those skills. But to sit here and say that the only good option is to pay tens upon tens of thousands of dollars, or you are just being lazy, is missing the plot, and you're not listening to the people, to the kids that right now are suffering because they did what they were told. They did exactly what you have been saying right now that needs to happen. And they are living at home. They're working at a grocery store or Starbucks or one of these places that doesn't pay much because that's the only job they can find, because places are looking for 20 years experience for a junior position.
Yep.
Yeah, the millennials were sold a lie. Like,
Oh, totally.
and
100%.
like, where are we now? Same place we were when all this shit started in at least 2008, only with a shit ton more debt. And like, I saw this thing where I think it's Ireland did a study, and now they're able to pay. It's not from the government, it's like another, I don't remember exactly how, but like they're paying artists. And what are some of the first things to be demonized, especially with education, is the arts, music, all of that kind of stuff. Like, it just ties in. We would have more to contribute on a molecular level.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
do we have an issue with education and our kids? Absolutely. Right now, we absolutely have a problem with education and our kids. But the problem is not the kids. The problem is our education system. And that's the part that it's getting to me, because there are so many people that grew up before internet was a thing and don't realize that the way kids need to be taught in this day and age is different. That the way that the way they were taught pre-internet is not going to work with these kids. That's all BS. We keep recording kids for minimal work. Bullshit.
Also, it's ableist as hell, because can we just take a second to remember that there are states right now who are wanting to basically divide their classrooms into who can be educated and who cannot be, and then not educate those people who are deemed too disabled to be able to contribute to society later. Like, this, it's not only classist, but it's ableist, and it's absolutely disgusting and abhorrent. And I hope you step on a nail.
Yes, all of that. And as somebody who had
Can I say
a
something?
son,
I'm sorry. I've been like
Sorry.
trying to talk, and y'all just keep talking, and I'm trying
So
not to
sorry,
be
Kia.
rude.
So sorry.
sorry, Kia.
But going back to it though, there's a reason. There's a reason why college even started costing anything. It's totally different. You can't go back to when you were younger, how things were. It's not the same. It's like a whole business thing now. It's all about freaking making money. And for every job, why do you know why people like our parents and grandparents didn't have to scream about college? Because their jobs taught them how to do their jobs. Now you go to college, you pay a shit ton of money, and then you still have to go to these jobs and be taught how to do your jobs.
And
And
again,
I don't think people forget, you forget that part. It is not that easy. And just because you go to college and you do good in school doesn't mean that that's going to be the job you're going to do well in.
and again, college is not for everyone. Learning should be for everyone. But college? No.
Well,
Again, make it frickin' free and start spend more time worrying about people, these kids, and what they're good at.
also, I saw someone say something about give the ones who aren't like basically book smart or however it was said, a trade. No, that's not the answer either. How about we give people the accommodations and the accessibility if they want to go to school? Like if somebody, how many amazing lawyers would we have if they could take the test in a way that made sense to them? And that is a book smart part of the education, right? If we just send them all to trade schools or doctors, how many great people would we have if we accommodated and gave them the accessibility, not just predetermined and ship them off to whatever we feel is how they will best serve society? That's absolutely ridiculous.
And I will.
I think, sorry, I was going to say something really quick. I think it's absolutely abhorrent that we keep talking book smart. I think everybody can be book smart if we actually teach them how to enjoy a book, and that you won't enjoy all books, and that's okay. Because the thing is, I've always heard this book smart, and I was always considered this book smart person. That's because I love books. I love reading. I read constantly all the time, and I always have. But that's because I was lucky enough to have my parents allow me to read things that interest me. If I loved vampires, I read all the vampire series. If I loved, I don't know, I never really loved romance, but if I did, they would have let me read that too. And it taught me to love books, and that books were a place that I could enjoy myself. It wasn't until university that I actually learned why Shakespeare was freaking funny. And how many years in high school and junior high do we take Shakespeare? No teacher bothered to explain it to me. It took a university professor, and once they explained it, I'm like, oh my God, you're right. This guy's hilarious. But nobody bothered to explain it. So I think it's important that we start maybe restructuring education so that we start teaching basics again and focusing on all of these aspects so that people can enjoy learning forever, not just for school.
And Ken, of course the mindset is different from when you went to school. It's a different world. This is why this is another reason I hate this whole concept of going back to the way things were. The world is not the way things were. It can't go back. We can't go back. We're never going to go back. Literally is not possible. And I mean, I still don't get. I mean, I don't consider myself book smart. I don't consider college wasn't my thing. I got lucky in the sense of I didn't, for the couple years that I went, I didn't go into crazy debt because I went to a college that my mom worked at. So I got lucky. But I wouldn't be good in trade either. I mean, I don't mind it. I don't mind doing it. I worked at grocery stores. I worked at lots of different things. I installed friggin' R&D labs, but those weren't fun. They were jobs that paid the bills. This is what I love. But if you're a youth, how are you supposed to look towards your future? How can they look towards their future when their present is so destructive to their ability and does not actually pay attention to them or how they learn?
Also,
They don't have
being
a
book
future.
smart is a privilege like that not everybody has. You can also learn how. And Ken, how are you supposed to look toward your future? If I could go back to 2008, there's a lot of I wouldn't do any of the college I did because it didn't work out for me. And I probably wouldn't even have done my cosmetology because I'm so much in debt. What future? If you don't want to educate kids in the way that they need to that will make them successful, you don't want to pay them so that they can be successful. You basically just want every hardship that you in your generation had to endure because why? Because you had to go through it. So then what future do you want? Do you want a bleak, debt-filled future where people are working 6-7 days a week? You're not going to set up this younger generation So then don't bitch about what do they have if you're not going to set them up to have anything.
Well,
The future it is our job to prepare the future generation. That is true. We are the adults here. But our job is not to go in and say, you need to be prepared the way we tell you, especially when we live in a world that is so drastically different from the one we grew up in. These kids do not learn the same way we did. This society is not the same as it was when we were kids. Literally, almost nothing is the same. And yet we are still trying to teach them the same way. We're trying to tell them that the way they succeed is the same way. We're trying to do everything exactly the same way that's when we were kids. And yet none of it is the same. We aren't listening to them. We aren't learning. We aren't doing anything that actually is going to help them succeed. If anything, we are making it less possible to succeed. We can't do that, but it's up to try to get. No, we can do that. We can make it possible for them to succeed. We can make it. We can open the doors. We can work with. We can listen to them, and when they say, "This is what works for me," we help them.
Give them a path that they can follow and be successful at, not repeat the blueprint in which was kind of sort of successful for you, which I would argue wasn't successful because here we are needing a different path.
Yep. And you led all of your kids in the millennial generation down the exact path that you were told. And almost all of us have been effed over in some fashion, be it too much debt, be it not be able to afford housing, be it not be able to get jobs in our relevant field, be it, in my case, I got jobs in my business field, but guess what? All of a sudden, magically, accounting was no longer as respectable a professional a profession, and what accountants used to be getting paid has been becoming less and less and less and less and less every single solitary year. So much so that I didn't even bother going for my CPA because it was a waste of my money to do so, because I wasn't going to get paid enough to justify a $30,000 designation. And I never made it in my whole entire professional career with a 4-year degree. And I was a 3.8 GPA student. So I was like top level of my class. I never made it to making more than 60 at best $1,000 a year in my career, which is absolutely pathetic, because accountants at the time, when I first started going to school in 2000, were making 6 figures. They are not paying accountants 6 figures anymore. So not only are we having a situation where people are required more education, but the jobs that they're getting, the wages have been being clawed back over time. So you're having a double problem happening here. So you've got the middle generation here with the millennials and Gen X, who are seeing jobs, just the salaries that were being promised to cut. And then you're having a younger generation trying to come in with higher expectations of more cost of education, who can't even get in the door. Like, essentially what's happened is all of our generations, we have nothing to look forward to at this point, because the system has been set up for us to collapse it
and
to hold the bag.
Just want to, first thing, Kia, did you want to say something before I start talking?
No, you're
Okay.
good.
Ken, we absolutely can do that. And it's not up to us to give them a path for them to follow, when the only path that we are giving them is one that cannot and will not work in 2026. This is the part that I do not think that you're getting. And again, I appreciate the fact that you're still here. And I know there's a lot of upset people. There's a lot of emotion on this. It's very frustrating. This whole thing is frustrating because we've talked about this before. We cannot keep doing things. The whole purpose of this podcast being called Break the Meta now is because the status quo does not work. None of it. Every person that is my age or older that says we need to do things a certain way because that's what worked for me are wrong. It will not work. It has failed. It is failing. That is why we are where we are. Because of the way that it was working for me and older will not work in today's society. And yet the people in charge are actively choosing to ignore that because they don't want to spend time listening. They don't want to spend the money to change things. Again, it still comes down to money, right? It always seems to come down to money. It costs money to change education. It costs money to change books. It costs money to train teachers in new ways of learning. It costs money. It's always about the fucking money. And for the person that said we need to highlight trade schools, no, we need to just highlight education and then allow kids and encourage kids to get better at things that they are good at. How do people get employed now? My grandchildren want to know. Luck. If I'm being honest, knowing somebody and luck. That's it. And I feel absolutely wretched saying it, but that is the reality. You look at most of the people that are looking for work, they are applying to literally every job imaginable. Hundreds, if not sometimes thousands of positions. And they're lucky if they get one callback. That is the reality of the way it is right now. A profession or trade. And you're right. And trade is in demand, but not everybody is made for that kind of work either. Not everyone is made for every kind of job. That was why this whole idea that everyone should go to college that was pushed was really dumb and caused us to get to where we are. Because I am not meant to sit at a desk and type and program and do all the other things that people said that we needed to do in college that would actually make us a lot of money. This is the kind of stuff that I'm good at. Talking with people, having conversations, making people laugh and doing stupid things. That's why I've been a content creator for 10 years. I didn't need to go to college to figure that out. I needed to have experience and learn and figure out stuff. And we need to encourage that in schools. The reason everyone complains that how many young kids are trying to make it big in streaming, the reason they're doing that is because that's the only way that they have a chance of surviving, is becoming lucky enough to make it big as a streamer. That's just a reality. That's why you've got 1,000 podcasts, millions of podcasts, and tens of millions of people that are trying to be streamers, because that is their only chance.
Yep. Kia, do you have something to say before I say something? Sorry if I overtalked you before. I apologize.
It's not so much, and I'll say this to Rosa as well, it's not so much that you guys were over talking. You guys were just talking so much I didn't ever have a chance because no one ever stopped. I'm very much on. I watched for the microphones to go on mute so I don't talk over you, because my brain gets flustered when multiple people talk and it literally tries to listen to everybody, and that's not possible, unfortunately.
That's totally not possible. And I'm the opposite. When I'm in an engaged conversation, I just keep going. It's like I'm playing tennis. And I'm
That's
out of
why
it.
I'm the head mod, and you're not. That's the thing. Like, I have to pay
Absolutely.
attention to that stuff.
We
But
are literally just showcasing why an education system that supports everybody's abilities and inabilities is the best thing to happen. Because look, we are completely the exact opposite, but it works really well for us. And I think this is a good showcase
And
of that.
and Ken, I appreciate what you said. And again, I know you've been here for a while, and I'm just going to say this in general. It's not just to you, it's to all of us, because I think right now there's a lot of people that are angry, including myself. There's a lot of people that, hello, Andy. There are a lot of people that are frustrated. There are a lot of people that it's just a lot right now. So what I'm going to say is just a general request for literally everybody, because I have noticed, and it's, again, I'm literally not speaking to anybody in particular, so please nobody think that. A lot of people, because we are upset, because we are angry, because there's a lot of stuff going on that is extremely emotional, I think a lot of us are finding it really easy to read into things. And again, not saying certain things we didn't read into them correctly, but it's really easy to read into things, and it's really easy to get upset. The purpose of a conversation is the knowledge that we all should have the same fundamentals, and we all see things differently from a different perspective. We all need to be willing to be wrong. We all need to be willing to listen to other people, even if we end up disagreeing with them. We need my biggest fear right now. I understand that, Rosa. And again, I'm not talking to anybody in particular. We do need to check on people sometimes. That's why I'm saying this. We need to be careful about how we say things as much as how we respond to things. Listen to your elders, they know.
Nope.
The current administration is my elder. No.
Yeah, no. And then that kind of thought process is part of the issue why we're here. Is you thinking you have to listen to your elders. I had that conversation, and this is why I think a lot of people don't understand, like, why people are like, why are they so angry at boomers and older folks? Because they're not listening. And they went through struggles and trials and tribulations, but for some reason it seems like they forget that. And they forget that just like when they went through trials and tribulations, it was different than what their parents went through. And I think they kind of forget that. I had to explain that to my dad. Like, Dad, it is not the same as in 1977 when you graduated high school and went into the service and did all those things. It is not the same kind of life for that. Trucker Steve, you have a great weekend, love. It's totally different. It's like, you can't just graduate high school and move out. You can't just get a job and oh my gosh.
What? Oh.
You got
The Pharaoh.
Thank you, Mission.
But it's so different. And I think it was great that he finally got it. He just called me one day and he's like, man, all this stuff. We're also talking about somebody that was in the service for 22 and a half years, who his body is now just shit because of jumping out of planes and all the other things that he did while he was in the service. But he finally got it, and I understood he got it in a way that he was just like, man, he's like, how are these kids supposed to get out here and get their own? They're not. The way everything is set up, it is not. It is so different, and that's the thing we need people to understand, especially the people who were not kids when there was computers and when there wasn't an internet and there wasn't social media and there wasn't a million different ways to learn how to do things.
Mm-hmm. We are in a completely different world. I've said this before, and I think sometimes, again, people older than me while we hear it, it doesn't always click, because we still live in a world where it's possible to live day to day in a way that feels like not much has changed. This world as a whole, not just this country, this world as a whole, oh my goodness. Thank you, Patty. This world as a whole is so drastically different than what even I grew up with. I don't even think people can comprehend how different it is. Just how fast in the last 25 years, just from the year 2000 to now, the world has changed. You can try, but I don't think, like, if you just look at the cell phones that I used in college compared to what we have now, it was just announced. Apple just announced that they are making laptops that use the same processor that goes in their phone, that goes in your phone. Your laptops and your phones are now becoming one and the same. I don't think we can, the amount of change in society from, let's even just say, the beginning of this country to the year 2000, and the amount of change from 2000 to 2026, I still think we've grown more in 26 years than we did from the beginning of this country to the year 2000. That doesn't mean that we didn't grow a lot, but I think the difference is, I don't think people realize how drastically different the change is. And because of that, we keep having these discussions, and people keep thinking that things should happen that oh, I can't, my hands don't go in front of it.
I got screenshots of that one too.
But yeah, I understand it's hard. And again, I appreciate everyone that comes in that doesn't get it, coming in and willing to talk. We need to, we as people, as all people, and I say that again, I'll say this to all, because everyone, even the good ones, can always get better. And with AI, the world will evolve faster. That is a distinct possibility. Yes. That is,
or it could be destroyed faster.
Or it could get destroyed, or nothing could change. Here's the thing about stuff like AI. We have been talking about AI for a long time. We've been making movies about what we think will happen as AI gets better for a long time. No one really knows. No one really knows. Again, if you go through history, if you look through history and you see what people thought would happen in the future and when people thought it would happen in the future, we have always gotten it wrong. Every single time. Why? Because there is too much unknown in the future. Too much. Too much. And again, I understand the fear. I understand that we need to pay attention to these things, because we do. We absolutely do. We don't want some of these possibilities that we've heard of when it comes to AI to happen. So we need to be aware of it, and we need to protect from it. But that does not mean it will happen. It does not mean it will happen if we decide not to protect from it. Who knows? I literally spent an hour trying to get ChatGPT to put the words that I told it to use actually in the box of the image I was trying it to get it. I said, make an image that is 1024 or whatever by 720. And it said it did. And you want to know what size image it made? A 1024 by 1024. And then I said, you still didn't make an image that was 1024 by 720. And it goes, you're right, I didn't. Thank you for catching that. Let me make one that is 1024 by 720. You want to know what image it gave me after saying that? A 1024 by 1024. So again, I understand the fear. I understand the worry. I understand that we are dealing with companies that are going to try and replace people with AI. That is a problem. That is 100% a problem. But what we need to be doing is saying, okay, let's say that AI comes in and replaces all of these jobs. Let's say that happens. Oh, I know. The movie thing, that's a whole different issue that I completely am with all the actors and actresses on. That's messed up. That is 100% messed up. And we need to stop that shit right now. But in terms of, I have no problem with using technology to make life, to be able to get more stuff done in less amount of time. The problem is we, right now, companies are using that ability to make more money and not do anything else. We're not sitting here and going, okay, maybe we can make a shorter workday and still make it possible for people to survive. No, we're not trying to do that. We're just causing people to lose jobs. And now we're at a point where there are more people that aren't working than there are jobs available. That is something we need to fix. That's not AI's fault. That's capitalism's fault. We like to blame AI. But again, you know, I see people, it's hilarious. I was watching a video yesterday of this guy who made a whole thing about living off the grid and how great it was and how everyone should live off the grid. You want to know how he was able to live off the grid? One of the reasons? Solar panels. You think solar panels would have become a thing if everyone was living off grid? What if he needs new solar panels?
Wow.
Like this is the thing. And again, some people are not meant to be in a city. That I get. Some people like the slowness of a rural area. Totally get that. Just like there are people that are extroverts and introverts. There are people that that are okay sitting at a desk and doing work, and there are people that love to use their hands. I'm actually someone who likes to use their hands, but I also like doing this. I'm one of those people that kind of likes doing a little bit of everything.
I like convincing people to vote the way that's going to benefit them in the future.
Yep.
That's
Agreed.
important too. But I'm one of those people, like, I live in a small town, but there's gas stations and there's grocery stores and I got Dollar General. I'm like 15 minutes from a Walmart. I'm like 30 minutes from Raleigh. I'm close enough. but I don't want to be on somewhere where there's people driving up and down my street every day. I don't want that. To me, that's not a convenience. To me, that just frazzles my brain. I will never be somebody that lives in the core of a city. If I ever live in a city, it will be on the outskirts. But I like having my space. I like having my acre and some change. No one can tell me shit to do on my land other than when it's no burning time. I can do what I want. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And for me, and I like that. I like that slower pace. I grew up in a city. I grew up on a street where all fucking night long there was ambulances and sirens and shit like that. That was not calming, soothing, and that was not fun for me.
Mm-hmm. And again, everybody is different in that respect. And again, this is where it comes down to, we have a society where until we stop focusing on on everything being about making as much money as possible, we're going to keep having this problem in the long run, because every position in every, what's up, Pash? Thank you for coming up, Andy. Every position in every pathway, all of the different jobs that are available, they're all necessary. They're all necessary. We need people that, at this moment, we need people that are farmers. We need people that are programmers. We need people that work at grocery stores. We need people that work at gas stations. We need people at all of these things. Not want, need. And when we sit here and say that any job that is necessary for the functioning of our society is not worthy of being paid a living wage, that's a problem. Now, again, can we have an argument that as a society, we shouldn't make fast food a necessary part of society? We could have that discussion. We could have that discussion. I'm not sure I'd agree with you, because again, we make, we don't teach people to, we don't have cooking in school anymore. So we don't teach people to cook. So we need to give people a way to get food that doesn't involve cooking. You want to bring that kind of stuff back? Then maybe, again, you could have different arguments for it.
And that's the thing too. It's like, I totally agree with you. I think people don't get though, like even with cooking, some people don't like to cook. Like, I'm not a foodie, so I literally eat to live. Like, grocery shopping, going food stuff does not excite me where other people do. Some people don't have time to cook.
She loves pickles though.
Because they're working. Hey, do you want me to sing my song?
Big girthy pickles.
Do you want me to sing my song I sang yesterday?
No, I don't.
You sure?
No, I don't.
Sure? Are you sure?
Hey, I'm not the only one who suffered with that song.
But you're the
What
one
song? I missed it. I missed the song.
You don't want to hear it.
Okay, I'm gonna trust Mike.
It involves getting something put in your head that should never be in your head.
Let's just say Genie in a Bottle by Christina Aguilera.
But with different people.
And rubbing the right way.
And we lost Mike.
Yeah, never mind.
Totally lost him.
I told you I was in tears yesterday.
Well, and I missed the morning with you guys. I think I saw you yesterday for a short while, because that's how late I was. I just had client after client after client call me, and like the other day when I just like left randomly while we were on the live, somebody was calling me. Oh, so I'm like I missed the song. What song? Now I feel
what? So I'm gonna go quiet for a second, and I'm going to go grab my iPad, and what I'll just do, instead of singing it fresh, I will play it with context from yesterday. Welcome back, Andy.
Thank you. Look, yesterday I got a guy from Alabama. All he needed to know was Tommy didn't actually live in Alabama. And he went and did his research. 67-year-old man, only been on the app a month, voted for Donald Trump, voted red his whole life. But a lady came into his office a week before he heard me talking on the app and said that her son had been denied health care for a severe back surgery because he'd been cut off Medicaid. He went and looked up and found that was true. He heard me talking about Medicaid on the app, and then he heard me talk about Tommy didn't live here, and he piped up and he goes, "Can I ask you questions?" And I was like, "Yes, sir, you may. Anything you want to know, I will happily." And he goes, "And I'm going to look up everything you say." And I said, "Yes, sir. I'm not in the habit of lying. I'll tell you whatever you want to know." He went and looked it up, came back and said, "I'm voting blue." So I feel like maybe we're getting some work done for the midterms. I feel proud of that.
Yeah. I mean, I can't argue.
Yay!
Yeah. I mean, let's be fair. This administration is doing a lot of stuff that's helping us in the midterms too. So,
Absolutely.
And with
But I
the
don't,
AI,
like you were saying earlier about just yelling at folks, I think that conversations are important. I think that if everybody just jumped on that man when he come up, he wouldn't have been able to have that conversation with me and might not have changed his mind.
yeah.
So
Everybody, we've said this before, everyone's got everyone's got different skills. Everyone has different, a different place, different experiences, different everything. Not everyone is able to do the same thing as everybody else. There are people, because of their personality, because of what they have experienced in life, that are much more open and able to interact with people that may have been 3-time Trump voters. And there are people that, because of their situations, because of their experiences, absolutely will not. And both are okay. And the problem that you get with the internet is this algorithm will kind of just clump us all together, and it makes it more difficult. And we also, because of what we do on the internet, a lot of people feel like they need to say something one way or another. And again, I'm not talking about anyone in specific. I can't control who says and doesn't say what. Only you can make that decision. I think there are times where all of us maybe shouldn't say something and we choose to, or we don't say something when we probably should have. This is the hard part about all of this. We are in a really hard place in society that we need to it's not an easy fix. None of this is
in
an
a
easy
way, though,
fix.
the algorithm helps us in some ways. Like all of these people from Alabama being thrown at me is a good thing.
Sure.
I would say, because like, you know me, I don't call people names. I try to be fairly reasonable, and the more Alabama people I can talk to, the better off, I think we'll be as a state, because like, I don't know how many of you seen the documentary on Alabama's prisons. It's up for an Oscar. It's so damn bad. Kay Ivey and Kenneth Marshall literally have a system that's unaliving thousands of people yearly in our prisons, because there's no guards in there. Like, they were actually filming where there were no guards to even keep them safe. It's wild.
Grizzly, that doesn't surprise me that Hassan's having Newsom on. Hassan will have anybody and everybody on. I mean, they had the whole family of the Necessary Conversation on. That's just what Hassan does. In the end, Hassan isn't about having the kind of conversations that we're talking about here. I need someone genuinely wants to learn before I will have a conversation. And that's completely understandable, Rosa. That is.
But you don't know if they generally want to learn until you take 2 seconds to talk to them.
But again,
hang on. Let me say this. Not every Andy, what you do is what you do. I couldn't do what you do. Just like there's some things like Mike. Everybody's got their own niche, and I think that's it. There's not always, because I'm not going to be quite as nice to people who voted for him like you might be. You might be willing to have those conversations, and it's great. I think it's important. We need people that are willing to have those conversations and willing to be patient. I think at the same point in time, and both these things are true, we also have to have this space for the people who are not okay with giving those people the time and the space. And that's why it's like, when you have people who do like stuff like what you do, and the different lives I watch do different things, and they handle situations differently. You've got your debaters who do straight debates, which that's whatever. Then you've got people like you that have conversations with people who voted a different kind of way, and you give them facts and stuff. And with us, we just talk amongst the community here, and I think they all have different places. I think it's amazing what you do, because I couldn't do it. I don't feel, and I'm an extremely empathetic person. I still struggle with giving them that kind of space, and I think that's okay. I'm definitely somebody like, you got to show me your words. You telling me something doesn't mean shit. I need to see, and I'm willing to give you, once you show me, okay, I'm trying to do better. I'm willing to give you the grace, but not until then. Your words mean nothing. Their actions always have to do.
Yep.
Go first.
One of the
Yep.
actions he did, Kia, was he immediately took the information I gave him and looked it up while I was still on the live. And that meant like he was listening, so I was more willing to have that conversation. I'm not nice to everybody. Those of you in the audience, y'all know I am not nice to everybody. If you're a racist, or you're a misogynist, or one of, transphobic, homophobic, Islamophobic, we're probably going to bump heads. I'm sorry to say that, but like, if you carry those views, I'm probably going to have a problem with you. And if you're not interested in a real conversation, then you'll get something totally different from me.
Yep.
And I just can't be bothered to talk to anybody who proves that they are a closed-minded person. And people will tell you basically straight off, they'll be like, I don't care how much information you share with me. I'd have to see so much that it would completely prove it. And I'm like, yeah, so you don't have an open mind, so this is a waste of my time. And I'll walk away, because for me, I just can't. I cannot, my personality itself cannot handle people like that. And I, 3-time Trump voter, holy Hannah bananas, the things I would say would not be kind. And I am generally a kind person, but I don't need to be kind to people who aren't kind to others. That is not my responsibility.
And again,
And I'm not talking about them, Tiff. The guy that was 67 last night came up, openly admitted he didn't pay attention to the news. Older gentleman from Alabama, didn't even have this app on his phone. His granddaughter got it. And I'm pretty sure his granddaughter was a Democrat, because when he came back, he said, my granddaughter helped me with all this research to prove your point. So, I think I probably helped her cause.
and again, this goes back to what Kia said. Every person has different skills and different abilities. This live is not as much for doing that. It's for supporting people that are going. I mean, we are willing to have any conversation as long as I believe that we have the same fundamentals. If you do not have the same fundamentals, we do not have a conversation here in this space. Now, in other spaces, I'm more willing and open to listen and talk with people that may interact differently that I wouldn't in this space, because I have that capability. This is just, again, we just need to remember that everyone is not the same. Everyone doesn't have the same skills or the same abilities. And we need to make sure that we don't come at when we interact with each other just as much as with other people, that we understand that it's like there was a video that came out with a woman who was a 3-time Trump voter, and she was crying. It went viral through the community. I disagree with the way she did it to an extent. But in the end, she was saying she realized it, she was wrong, and she was having a really tough time. And some people, you could tell every time I saw a stitch with it, there were different people. There were some people that are saying, I don't care. you voted for this 3 times, I'm not going to give you any grace. And that there were others, and most of them were people that voted for Trump and got out of it. They're like, I understand it's hard, and this is the way it's going to be, and helped and tried to help. And again, this is the problem with social media, right? A 1, 2, 3 minute video, especially when what people are going for in general is views, it ends up just being rage bait half the time. And people say things in a way or interact with them in a way that they think will get the most views, not actually try and fix the problem. So that is a completely different problem. I mean, I've chosen to try and not rage bait unless I'm just angry and I'm literally talking about something that I'm angry about. But, you know, because of that, I'm lucky if I get a few hundred views. And that's with 115,000 people following me. I'm lucky if I can get 500 views.
I think the algorithm does that on purpose, but like I'm like you, I don't really care about the views. Like Tommy Tuberville is a danger to America. The things he's saying, and he wants to be governor of Alabama, in my opinion, this is only my opinion, for a couple of years so that he can try to be president. And I don't think anybody wants President Tuberville that doesn't know the 3 branches of government. So I'm trying to end that before that happens.
Mm-hmm. And again, what you do is great, and it's what a lot of other people couldn't do. I think, again, the algorithm ends up squishing us all together in a way that sometimes makes things harder than it should be. Because again, the best people to help 3-time Trump voters who are realizing they made a mistake to deconstruct and work their way through and become the kind of people that those of us that have been hurt want them to become is to interact with other people that went through it. Not with people that never saw it, never believed it, and have been screaming about it being, you know, screaming about what is happening, going to happen. In the grand scheme of things, that was those 2 groups should not be talking to each other because of the way, you know, the group on the left that is, whether they're part of the communities that have been hurt or they've just seen it and been screaming, those are the ones that are affected the most. Those are the ones that are going to be the most angry. The ones that came from that earlier at least have an understanding of where those people are coming from. So that's why I'm willing to talk with people that were Christians outside of this space, that are Christians that maybe are more conservative, because I remember what it was like to be in a more conservative situation as a Christian. And I know how to interact with them in a way because I had to go through that to get out of it myself. So again, this is a frustrating mixture. See it, Tufu. This is a frustrating mixture of people's skills and abilities and experiences, the algorithm, and the fact that a lot of people are trying to get views and make money and rage bait. And it's I think it is making conversation difficult as a whole, because it is slowing down maybe some people's deconstruction, and it is slowing down our ability to potentially get to a point where we may all be able to come together. And I said this before, it's going to be hard. Getting out of the situation that we are now in is going to be hard. It's going to be long. It's going to be uncomfortable for everybody. And I'm not going to tell anybody what you should or shouldn't do. That's not my place. I can only control me and what I do. I'm just saying, for all of us, this is going to be hard. This is going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be. Too many of us for too long just stuck our heads in the sand. And I'm putting myself in that statement, thinking that things weren't as bad as they were, thinking it wasn't as bad as it is, thinking that just thinking a completely different way. It's just it's not easy, and I guess I got nothing else to say.
Look, I'm glad that you can talk to church people outside of here because they're my number one demographic I cannot talk to. I have zero patience with them at the moment.
And it's completely understandable.
I don't think I ever had patience for them, to be honest, but that's because of my own personal experiences. Just like yours, mine were. I can't do it because Christian religion was my mother tried to force it down my throat, so to speak, and it was just never for me. Like, I have no problem. People are allowed to believe whatever they want to believe. It's the beauty about belief. It's an individual decision. But it was so forced on me that I think it probably made it even more toxic than it already was, because of that experience. And so I genuinely don't have the patience. I couldn't. And I love and appreciate and I'm in awe of each one of your talents, because there's so many things you guys are able and capable to do that I know as a personality, just who I am, my experiences, I couldn't do. And I'm always so grateful that there are others out there that can do the things I cannot.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
But I'm sure you have plenty of skills I don't have. So we all walk hand in hand together.
Hey, I think I found it. Give me just
I get
a
to hear
second.
the
I think I
song.
found it. Yeah,
She just likes to torment you, doesn't she?
Mhm.
I do. I'm the little sister, of course.
It's her responsibility in life.
I would say, Grizzly, I would disagree with the state that
We've hard enough.
Listen.
Trump grants all wishes. Wow, he's a genie too? That's amazing.
He's a genie in the bottle. Gotta rub him the right way.
Ew! Ew!
Okay, now I
Yeah,
kind
that's
of wish
so
I hadn't
wrong.
heard that. I kind of wish I had not.
Like,
See,
yeah,
I told
look,
you, you didn't
I
want to hear
apologize.
it.
Mike,
I'm
it is
sorry.
Kia's fault to this day. When I see the heart me, I see a phallic symbol. Like, that is all on her.
I'm sorry. I should have listened. I'm sorry.
Wow, what a way for me to leave the live.
Wait, did you not tell me that the heart me? Wait, Kia, did you not tell me that the heart me was a phallic symbol?
Yeah,
That
it is a phallic symbol. It looks like a giant.
No
Yes.
longer can unsee.
You'll never unsee. I told Mike and them too, and Mike was like, "Thanks, Kia. Thanks." That song was amazing. Oh my God, you have to give me my props. Go ahead, tell me I was right. You gotta rub them the right way. I mean,
Here, I threw you some roses.
thank you. Look at his face.
And Mike's just looking at us like, sure.
He's
love
giving
you,
me
Mike.
the shit look. That's how I look at you every time you guys talk about pickles and your kimchi or kamchi or whatever the chi shit is.
Hey,
that
what's
y'all
wrong
eat.
with kimchi? Kimchi is good.
Big
Kimchi is
girthy
healthy.
pickles, Kia. Big, huge, lots of girthy pickles. All of them with
girthy, spicy pickles.
yes,
Fire
with kimchi
lit.
on top.
All right,
And
I'm
y'all-
gonna go because I'm gonna go live in a couple of minutes. But you guys are
Well,
welcome.
hold on a minute,
You guys
Kia.
are
I want to
welcome.
tell y'all that I had no idea y'all see what I do. Like, I very rarely look at the comments. I had no idea y'all knew that what I even say on here.
I mean, to be fair, this app filters so much stuff. You never know what we see anymore.
Oh, Emma, you're amazing. Thank you. Well, Andy, I'm glad to see you. I love you. It was so good to share some space with you. Tiffany, as always. Mike, my brother, my love. I love
Love
you
y'all.
always. I leave you for the weekend with a great song. You're gonna be out there walking, and all of a sudden, in the back of your head, you guys are gonna bust out. He's a genius.
Well, that'll be good because for some reason Donald Trump, Trump said something about everybody being a millionaire, and I've been walking around for the last 2 weeks singing "If I Had $1 Million." So I mean, I guess that's a good replacement.
I love you, Mike. I love
Love
you
you too.
guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see some of y'all in a few minutes.
Love you too.
I want to say this quick, and then I'll do the little goodbye stuff. So I don't agree that both parties generally want the same thing. What I believe is that most Americans want the same thing as a whole. I believe there are people on both sides that actually don't align with most people's fundamentals. And I believe a lot of people have been convinced that they need that identity politics is the most important thing, and that they need to follow and support one side or the other just because. But I want to leave it at that. I think in general, most Americans, most human beings actually do align on fundamentals. We just have forgotten how to talk to each other. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here. Please go and watch the videos of the people that I'm interviewing. I'm interviewing people. I'm posting stuff literally every day of people that are running for office that want to make the changes that we keep saying that we want. And the way these people are going to get visibility and name recognition is by people watching those videos and sharing them, even if they're not in those states. Because as the numbers go up, they're more likely to get seen by the people in their districts. They're more likely to get... Andy, if you want to send the name or a link or whatever to either Rosa or Ash, they're the ones that help contact people for me. I'll interview anybody that is progressive that wants to change, make change. But yeah, please watch the stuff. Please send it out. Please share it, like it, comment on it. All those things help. All those things help. Make sure you get your points if you're over here on TikTok. And also, I know money's tight, but if you have the ability to support, you guys know that I want to do this full time. And as much as I appreciate all the bits of support here over on TikTok, I get like 40% over here. Best way to share it, I mean, the only thing I can think of is copying the link on the tube or...
Do you know you get a higher percentage of your money the more taps you get? The more taps they give you, the more percentage TikTok gives you.
42 is the highest that I can get. It's the highest that everybody gets. They've changed the way they do things, and there's a whole bunch of different metrics that they use to increase your percentage, and they're all messed up, and some of them are ones that I will never be able to hit. I get as high as a percentage as I'm ever going to get, and it's at about 40%. I think I could get up to about 43. But that would involve getting a higher shield, whatever the stupid thing is that they do, the more money you get given. But yeah, so please help out. Please share it. If you know people, please subscribe. I'm at like 1944. Again, seems a bit off. It is. And there's other things that can happen that I can get like some extra money, but that's just a whole bunch of other stuff too. And even then it's not an extremely high percentage. I think it might get me up to 50%, but I get like 80, 90. There are ways that I can get 100. This app, TikTok, is just not it anymore.
We need to just give him more money. That's what I think.
I just want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do this and pay my bills. That's just what I want. And I've interviewed like 100 people in a month and a half. And I know you are. I know you are, Linda, and I appreciate all of you that give. I appreciate you so much. I just need to find a way to grow more and be able to get more. No, Mike's lips did not show up. Nope. All right, guys. I gotta go. I got an interview in an hour, so I gotta get some lunch. But hope you guys have an amazing rest of your weekend. You guys are amazing just the way you are, and I love you all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to sing, laugh, dance, smile. Do something that makes you happy, and go watch some YouTube videos. Bye, guys. Love you. Goodbye.